Hello internet friends, and welcome to the Legion Alpha Beta Beast Mastery First Pass Summary Preview. And you're looking at all the buttons you have. And if you want to look down at my 1, 2, 3 keys, that's it. You have multi-shot still, but you only got 3 key core component buttons for the Beast Mastery spec. I'm going to bring this up right now off the top of this video, of course, just because I'm going to be testing with Chimera Shot, just have another button to press. I'll drag Stampede down here as well, and I'll also grab Barrage. So you can obviously add some key abilities here to the Beast Mastery Hunter, but it's very core, very simple playstyle. And I will start off with, real quick, and if you have not seen any of my other coverage, or you want to see the other coverage I have done, here on the YouTube channel, of course, all in the same playlist, but I also have a guide on my Twitch channel, the channel guide, which you can access through a chat command, !guide, or the channel guide button on my Twitch page. Organizes all the VODs. You can watch the entire VOD of the testing process I do, or of course you can watch all the other previews I've done. So, cooldowns first, because these sort of really impact the Beast Mastery's overall kit and play style. Because you'll see why once I go into more detail. Of course, Aspect of the Wild is your only main cooldown. 2-minute cooldown. You get a 10% increased chance to crit on all of your skills for you and your pet by 10%. You also gain 10 focus per second for 10 seconds. So you get a whole 100 focus back in 10 seconds. You also get 10% more crit for you and your pet. So 20% for the both of you, but 10% for each. You also, of course, have Big Red Pet, Bestial Wrath, 90-second cooldown, 1.5 minutes. Essentially an effective 75-second cooldown due to the 15-second duration, where you increase the damage done by both you and your pet by 20%. Now, I'll fire off some shots here randomly in the background while I go over these next little bits. Wild Call is a 20% chance base. I am using One with the Pack for an additional 10% chance. So what Wild Call does, though, is a chance to reset on your critical strikes to reset Dire Beast. So, to get more Dire Beast to spawn as your main key component of the new Beast Mastery Hunter, if you have high crit as it scales well into the late game, you will have more beasts up. And again, if you use your cooldown, you'll also have a higher chance to crit, which is a higher chance to then reset your Dire Beast. Which again, it's a chance on a chance. You have to crit first off, and then you have a 20 or 30% chance with One with the Pack to reset your Dire Beast. There it goes right there, to get multiple Dire Beasts up. So what do Dire Beasts do now? Dire Beast being the core mechanic or rotational ability for the Beast Mastery Hunter, 10-second cooldown based. You summon a pet, or a random wild powerful beast for 8 seconds. Each time the beast deals damage, you gain 4 focus to help your focus regeneration. And then also summoning a beast will reduce the cooldown on Bestial Wrath by 15 seconds. So more beasts summoned equals more Big Red Pet equals more damage. I kind of wonder if the Beast Mastery Hunter is balanced around this ability to have lots of uptime on Bestial Wrath due to summoning multiple beasts just normally will reduce its cooldown. I almost wonder if the cooldown is too short. I'm not sure. But it feels like it's not a 90-second cooldown at all, because by default, you're going to have multiple resets via Dire Beast anyway. Or not resets, but reductions, sorry. Misspoke there. Reductions in the cooldown of the spec. So you'll have a lot of uptime on Bestial Wrath, a lot more than 90 seconds, for example. And I'll do that right there. I'll reset. I'll throw a Barrage out here. You can still move while shooting Barrage, by the way. And I'm not sure if that's the way it's supposed to be, right? That's fine. But I wonder if Beast Mastery Hunters will kind of feel a little bit weak outside of having good BM uptime, whereas not other hunters have that. I guess Marksman is really kind of pigeonholed by ridiculous amounts of buff stacking and buff tracking. And survival is sort of mitigated a lot by the Mongoose Bite window, but we'll have to see. Mastery is your Mastery's Master of Beasts. Your pets deal more damage. This also apparently works on Murder of Crows. It'll work on Stampede. It will work on your pet. It'll work on your Dire Beasts as well. And it will work with your artifact pet you get as well. which is called Hati. But I don't have I'm not testing right now with the artifact because of the first pass. And then your other passive is Beast Cleave. It's still here. After you multi-shot, your pet's melee attacks will also strike all other nearby enemy targets for, the tooltip is wrong, it's actually currently 75% damage, not 100, for as much in the next 4 seconds. So when you do this, your pet gets a buff called Beast Cleave, and they Beast Cleave. In the VOD, we talk about Beast Cleave for probably 45 minutes, because there are some weird interactions where the Beast Cleave only hits what's around your pet, but not the target it is currently attacking. It looks to be a 8-yard circle, or a circumference, around your pet, just not the current target, because that target will, of course, get used, your pet will use Bite on the current target, which has the built-in extra damage and extra focus cost for a built-in focus dump when you have high focus on your pet. So I've turned Bite off. Bite does Beast Cleave, and auto attacks Beast Cleave. I'll do... Oh, my pet thing broke. That's right. I had to reload the game. I had a comment log set up just for my pet, but let me do that real quick here. We do settings, copy filter, pet, accept pet, just pet, done to nothing. So let me go over here real quick. Sorry about live editing, but alpha will alpha, beta will beta. There was some little crashing during the testing process. But so your Bite will cleave. I'll make sure the multi-strike's up. And you got a melee attack, melee Beast Cleave, Bite Beast Cleave. But again, Beast Cleave will only hit targets the pet is currently not attacking, because that target will get hit by Bite. But that is your passive AoE synergy there with Beast Cleave. It's kind of cool that they, named it that after like by the PvP, group that used to always run a comp called Beast Cleave with a BM Hunter. But everything else is still here, as you would expect. Misdirection, multi-shot's the same. There's no other synergy. You'll see multi-shot is actually putting up Hunter's Mark, which is a bug. It's not supposed to do that. Actually, it's doing it anymore. It was doing it earlier today. Maybe I haven't missed the fact that it might not anymore. It could be fixed. Nope, there it is. Gotcha. But it shouldn't be doing that. That's a Marksman Hunter ability. Take that off. Get that out of here. So, what else we got here? Eagle Eye is here. Disengage still doesn't disengage things. Exhilarate. Exhilaration is one of your cooldowns. Aspect of the Turtle is you'll deflect all attacks incoming, and you take 30% reduced damage from all other attacks for 8 seconds, but you cannot attack. I was told that there is your Legendary lets you attack during it, which is pretty good. Aspect of the Cheetah is 3 seconds of 90% and 9 seconds of 30, unless you take Dash, where you get 3 more seconds of either effect. But it is 10% shy of movement speed on a mount. Dash is pretty good, and Aspect of the Cheetah is a pretty potent cooldown for movement. And then we've got, again, we have Aspect of the Wild. Binding Shot is still here if you take it, with Wyvern Stinger Intimidation as your CC tier. The CC tier for Marksman, they get Camo instead of Intimidation, for example. Counter Shot still here, Concussive Shot. Cobra Shot is just 30 focus instant. It's a quick shot that deals physical damage. It doesn't do a whole lot more than your auto attack, honestly, but it is your sort of your dump ability, your main ability to keep using your focus up so you don't overcap. All your call pet abilities are still heal. You can still have 5 default. All of your pet utility abilities are here. I just have them on the bar just to see that they're still here. And that's everything. Feign Death still doing things. Flare. Yep. But at the core of it, it's very simple. Your other talents are Away with the Cobra. Is for every pet or guardian you have active, Cobra Shot will deal more damage. Now, it should be 5% for your pet. I would assume it might be 5% for your artifact pet, so 10%. And then for every dire beast you have out as well. But this is very spammy. It doesn't really work properly right now, so I'm not really going to show it off. Dire Stable is 4 additional focus for every time a dire beast attacks, so it goes from 4 on an auto attack to 8. Which I think is probably good for an AoE talent, but I'm not a hunter, so I'm not sure. It might help with your multi-shot spam. We'll have to see how that works. Farsighter and Post Haste are still here. Stomp! This is kind of cool. Whenever you summon a dire beast, it will stomp the ground when they get to the target, and they'll deal 400% increased physical damage to all nearby enemies once on the basic attack. But right now it doesn't work properly. The animation works. Boom! But the damage does not work. Ah, right? It's a good sustained AoE talent, most likely. Also, might be good for some burst potential. Who knows? Right now, again, the damage does, like, what does it say? Stomp does 800 damage, 400 damage. It doesn't work very well right now. It's not getting the amp Munitions is still here. Incendiary ammo does passive fire damage on auto attacks. Poison ammo is a stacking, not really stacking per se, but a refreshing poison dot that will add successive auto shots to the poison dot. You can only have like 5 to 6 based on haste, like of the applications at a time because of how slow you auto attack by default. So, and then Chimera Shot, which again I showed off before, has no cost, 9-second cooldown, but it generates 10 focus for each enemy hit, up to 2. And it's just random, so one target will always take frost damage, and then one target will always take nature damage. But it gives you focus, and no other ability really gives you focus on demand. Dire Stable is a passive focus generation based on Dire Beast, but there's no other demand focus ability. Like, boom, I want focus right now. So it's kind of interesting to see how Chimera Shot will go. It might be like the ipso facto, like 1 or 2 target everything, and then stomp for like massive AoE. And Munitions is kind of... it's thematic and fun, but it's not really potent. It doesn't feel like it does a lot of damage. But best talent tier for Hunters right here. Beast Mastery, in my opinion. Blink Strikes. Pet's basic attacks deal 50% more increased damage, which means your mastery is more beneficial then. And they can do it from 30 yards away and will instantly teleport behind their target, right? So it basically means your pet basic attacks just do more damage. Which then, that means your Beast Cleave does more damage. Which means your mastery is more potent because mastery just increases beasts, your pet's damage and your beast's damage. Bestial Fury is 20% more damage bonus on Bestial Wrath. Now going back to what I said earlier, Bestial Wrath might have a very short, like, overall cooldown. Very high uptime. Because every time you summon a Dire Beast, it's 15 seconds off the cooldown. So, a 40% Bestial Wrath. 40% for you and your pet only, right? You and your pet. Pretty good. Maybe the good over, like, a long patchwork fight. Unsure of how that'll sort of with different fights or high burst counters or encounters. But we'll have to see how that plays out. And then Big Game Hunter is your critical strike chance of auto attacks and Cobra shots is up by 50% on targets above 80% health. So it's a reverse execute, which Big Game Hunter is good for bursting early on encounters. It's also good for fights that spawn lots of ads, so like Mythic Archimon when the Doomfire spawns. You want to kill the Doomfire immediately. Big Game Hunter works with that. But then if Bestial Fury at higher gear levels has a lot of uptime, then maybe having just 40% more damage more on demand or more often might be good too. But then what about Blink Strikes? It's good for AoE, but then does Bestial Fury work for AoE better because you get periods where you're doing both more damage with your pet and you? I don't know. This is a great talent here because there are some really great choices here and how this will work based on encounters. And I hope these don't just become like, yeah, Bestial Fury for everything. Because there's a lot going on here, I think anyway, that could make all three of these talents very versatile encounter to encounter. Again, Murder of Crows is still here. Does scale with your mastery. Barrage is still here. Again, you can move while doing Barrage. Does Barrage things. Obviously, Barrage will actually kind of work really well with Bestial Fury for like burst AoE phases because you'll get 40% more damage done and you can Barrage with a huge Barrage. Volley is still here. It doesn't work. I mean, combat still apparently. Oh no, Barrage on cooldown. Volley doesn't have an animation still. It did before, but nothing happens when It's there, I swear. It's a 6-second duration AoE, 8-yard AoE for 80 focus. It's for constant AoE. Definitely for constant, consistent, like, going on for AoE, but I don't know if it's going to work. Depends on how the raid mechanics work or how much damage it does, because if you can get off, say, 5 or 6 volleys in 20 seconds, will that out-damage a barrage? Otherwise, we'll take a barrage, right? The trade-off, of course, if you can just cast volley and then you can keep multi-shotting and keeping up Beast Cleave, but barrage, you can't do anything during it. So you'd like multi-shot before to put up Beast Cleave, then you barrage, and you multi-shot when you get out of it to keep up the buff. So I don't know how it's going to work. Again, I'll cast it over here. Nothing spawns. It does damage, though. The damage numbers aren't fixed right now. Apparently, this dummy is immune to barrage. I didn't know that. But we'll have to see how volley versus barrage works. Obviously, Murder of Crows is probably your best bet for single target, depending on how the damage scales, and of course that it scales with your mastery. We come to it now at last. I'm going to talk about Aspect of the Beast real quick. This just makes your kill command give a passive effect. It's the same for all 300 specs, I believe, except that for Marksman, they have something different here, obviously, and then Survival has the Flanking Strike synergy, but it's the same thing. Kill command is Flanking Strike, more or less. But Ferocity Pets put a bleed up, Tenacity Pets get a shield wall, and Cunning Pets have a snare. Killer Cobra, real quick, is when Bestial Wrath is active, Cobra Shot has a 25% chance to reset the cooldown of Kill Command. This talent is the only one that bothers me, because it is not only during Bestial Wrath, and then only when you cast Cobra Shot, and then only when it has a 25% chance, a 1 in 4, to reset the cooldown of Kill Command, but Kill Command is only a 6-second cooldown. So during a 15-second Bestial Wrath, do you get, like, 1 extra Kill Command? I don't know. It just doesn't seem very good, because it is in a cooldown window, chance on an ability that you're only going to have so many of during a window anyway. And by default, in a Bestial Wrath window, you'll have 3 kill commands. 1 at the beginning, 1 6 seconds in, 1 12 seconds in, of a 15-second duration. So, most underwhelming talent by far is Killer Cobra. But Stampede! Right now on live, in my opinion, I'm kind of negative towards it, because it's just like, hey, I'm going to poop out 5 pets, they're going to auto-attack for a little while. That's all it does. This is the new Stampede, though. It is I'm going to explain it first before I show it off. It's a rectangular, forward-facing, 30-yard, I'm going to imagine like a 10 to 8-yard width rectangle skill shot that summons 5 waves of beasts, random beasts, 3 in each wave, that will each hit the target in front of them that they collide with once each. I will now show you Stampede on these poor, unfortunate target dummies, and watch the combat log. It does a lot of damage, but, like, it looks cool. It's not the same as it was. It definitely has some huge AoE synergies, because you can, like, AoE an entire swath of mobs. Still 3-minute cooldown, though. The tooltip is kind of, like, doesn't really tell you a lot about the ability. It doesn't tell you how long it lasts, or, like, what the range is in the cone, or not the cone, but the rectangle. Like, how wide the range of the rectangle is. I think it's fanciful. Like, it's fantasy-oriented, right? But I don't know how good it is. But your other options are a passive bleed, or a chance within a chance to, Killer Cobra, I already talked about it. It's just, Killer Cobra. Killer Cobra! Ugh! So those are your options for 100. Your 75s are a whole lot better, in my opinion. But we'll have to see how that works out. That has been the Beast Mastery Hunter First Pass. If you enjoyed this First Pass or other First Passes, hit that like button. It's been a great deal. Subscribe to my YouTube channel right here and check out all the other videos I'm covering. Oh boy, if you want to check out all the other stuff I've done, check out my channel guide. I'll be doing 3 passes of every single class in the game. And dungeons to come in the future. Beast Mastery's weird. When I first cast Stampede, I was like, what just happened? We'll find out if that changes. And I will see you all in the next spec preview summary adventure.